Please be prepared. Let Dr. PG Sahasrabuddhe National Level Elocution Competition Rules for Senior Group. First, I will read the all rules in English. First rule. The competition will be held in English, Hindi, and Marathi. Second, the contestants should mention their participant code and their topic before commencing their speech. Third, contestants from senior group shall be allotted time 8 minutes for speech and warning shall be given after completion of 6 minutes. Contestants should not refer to any notes, papers, reference materials while speaking. If a contestant is found referring to such material, they will be debarred from the competition. Fifth, contestants must not behave in any manner disruptive to the contestant delivering their speech. 6. Decision made by the judges will be final and binding. 7. Contestants are expected to obey all the other rules as specified by the organizers from time to time. 8. Contestants should be present for the valedictorian program on the 28th of January at 4 p.m. Top 15 participants will be selected for final round of self-debate. So they must be present tomorrow. Now in Hindi. 1. प्रतिभागी मराठी, हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में से किसी भी एक भाषा में अपना वक्तव्य प्रस्तुत कर सकते हैं. 2. भाषण शुरू होने से पहले प्रत्येक प्रतिभागी को अपना प्रतिभागी अनुक्रमांक और चुने हुए विषय को स्पष्ट रूप से बताना होगा. नंबर 3. प्रतिभागी को 8 मिनट का समय दिया जाएगा. 6 मिनट समाप्त होने पर उन्हें सूचित किया जाएगा. प्रतिभागी भाषण के दौरान संदर्भ के लिए किसी भी प्रकार की सामग्री अपने पास नहीं रख सकते. यदि भाषण के दौरान वे ऐसी कोई भी सामग्री की मदद लेते पाए गए, उन्हें तुरंत प्रतियोगिता से बाहर किया जाएगा. प्रतिभागी अन्य प्रतिभागियों द्वारा ऐसा कोई व्यवहार नहीं किया जाना चाहिए जिससे बोलते प्रतिभागी के प्रदर्शन में बाधा आए. परीक्षकों का निर्णय अंतिम और बंधनकारक रहेगा. उपरोक्त नियमों के अतिरिक्त आयोजकों द्वारा समय समय पर दिए गए निर्देशों का पालन करें. सभी प्रतिभागियों से निवेदन है कि वे 28 जनवरी को शाम 4 बजे समापन कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित रहें. रूल्स इन मराठी. स्पर्धकांनी मराठी, हिंदी किंवा इंग्रजी यांपैकी कोणत्याही एकाच भाषेत वक्तृत्व सादर करावे. प्रत्येक स्पर्धकाने आपला स्पर्धक कोड क्रमांक व निवडलेला विषय भाषण सुरू करण्यापूर्वी स्पष्टपणे सांगावा. स्पर्धकांनी भाषणाच्या वेळी कोणताही कागद, चिठ्ठी व संदर्भासाठी अन्य कोणताही मजकूर सोबत बाळगू नये. अशा प्रकारचा मजकूर भाषणादरम्यान स्पर्धकाकडे आढळला तर त्याला किंवा तिला स्पर्धेतून बाद करण्यात येईल. इतर स्पर्धकांचे वागणे बोलत असणाऱ्या स्पर्धकास त्रासदायक नसावे. सादरीकरण करत असलेल्या स्पर्धकाला व्यत्यय येईल अशा प्रकारे कोणतेही वर्तन इतर स्पर्धकांनी करू नये. परीक्षकांचा निर्णय अंतिम व बंधनकारक असेल. उपरोक्त नियमांव्यतिरिक्त संयोजकांनी वेळोवेळी केलेल्या सूचनांचे पालन करणे अपेक्षित आहे. सर्व स्पर्धकांनी 28 जानेवारीला 4 वाजता बक्षीस वितरण समारंभासाठी उपस्थित राहावे. धन्यवाद. Participant number 3. Participant number 4, please be prepared. There is a warning for all participants. Please do not exceed the time limit of 8 minutes. Even if you speak 10 or 15 seconds more, there will be reverse marking. Okay? मराठीत सांगते, प्लीज 8 मिनिटाच्या पुढे बोलू नका. तुम्ही 10 किंवा 15 सेकंडही जास्त बोलला तर तुमचे मार्क्स कमी होऊ शकतात.
सुप्रभात, मैं क्रमांक 3 और मेरा विषय है कितना गहरा उतरेंगे हम कानून की खोज में। तो कानून, ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी भारत में केवल मॉडर्न एजुकेशन, रेलवे ये सब नहीं, उसके साथ लाई थी कानून भी। 17वीं सदी में किंग जॉर्ज वन के द्वारा कोर्ट की स्थापना हुई थी। तो कोर्ट की स्थापना ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडियन कंपनी ने की तो थी, लेकिन वो कोर्ट केवल उनके लाभ के लिए था। उससे भारतीयों का कुछ ज्यादा लाभ हुआ नहीं। भारत की आजादी के उपरांत 1950 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट की स्थापना हुई, हमारे गणतंत्र दिवस पर ही। और हमारा संविधान भी कानून और न्याय जैसे विषयों पे बना है। तो अब बात करते हैं कानून की। कानून है क्या? कानून आया कहां से? कानून वो एक चीज है जिससे हम सबको एक सामान्य साधन मिलता है ताकि हम अपनी जीवन को अच्छी तरह से जी सकें। तो जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि कानून की स्थापना हुई थी 1950 में, लेकिन आज हमारा कानून व्यवस्था इतनी ज्यादा अव्यवस्थित हो गई है कि हमारे देश में 2019 के तहत 4.5 करोड़ केसेस पेंडिंग है। 4.5 करोड़! क्या आप समझ सकते हैं कि 4.5 करोड़ केसेस पेंडिंग है? भारत के सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पूर्व जस्टिस श्री कट्रू ने कहा था कि अगर हम इन 450 केसेस को सॉल्व करने चाहेंगे तो हमें 360 वर्ष लगेंगे। 360 दिवस नहीं, 360 वर्ष। इसी कारण आप सबने ये डायलॉग खूब सुना होगा, तारीख पे तारीख, तारीख पे तारीख, तारीख पे तारीख। सिर्फ तारीख मिलती रही माय लॉर्ड, इंसाफ नहीं मिला, मिला तो केवल तारीख। ये सही बात है। हाल ही में हम सबने सुना कि भारत का सबसे पुराना केस, जो कि 1952 में दर्ज हुआ था, 72 वर्ष के बाद जाके सॉल्व हुआ। 72 वर्ष सिर्फ एक केस के पीछे। इसका एक अच्छा उदाहरण ये भी है निर्भया केस। निर्भया केस में कोर्ट को पता था कि अपराधी कौन है, परंतु फिर भी 8 साल लगे। क्या हमारे पास इतना समय है कि हम इंसाफ के लिए इतना लंबा इंतजार करेंगे? बहुत लोग तो इंसाफ का इंतजार करते करते ही अपना दम तोड़ देते हैं। क्या ये सही है? नहीं। ऊपर से कानून व्यवस्था भारत में इतनी ज्यादा कठिन है कि कोई गरीब व्यक्ति समझ ही नहीं सकता कि वो कब, कहां और किधर अपना केस सॉल्व करवाए। उसके उपरांत हमारे लॉयर्स, जिन्होंने कानून को धंधा बना लिया है, अपने मतलब के लिए काफी ज्यादा रुपए चार्ज करते हैं ताकि उनकी आमदनी आती रहे। अब क्या आप सोच सकते हैं कि एक गरीब व्यक्ति जिसके पास ना साधन है ना इतने रुपए, वो क्या जाके अब ऐसे ऊंचे दामों पे अपने केस सॉल्व करवा सकता है? नहीं। कुछ लॉयर्स अपने केस सॉल्व कराने की फीस लाखों में लेते हैं। एक गरीब व्यक्ति कहां से लाएगा लाखों रुपए? फिर कहां से लेगा वो इंसाफ? और इन 450 केसेस की अगर हम दर देखें, 2010 से 2020 के अंतराल में 2% की बढ़ोतरी हुई इंडियन कोर्ट्स के केसेस में, परंतु सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स और हमारे हाई कोर्ट्स में केवल 1 वर्ष, जो कि 2019 से 2020 के बीच कुल 20% केसेस की बढ़ोतरी हुई, जिसका मतलब प्रतिदिन 23 नए केसेस दर्ज हुए भारत में, प्रतिदिन। और सबसे रोमांचक बात यह है कि जहां अमेरिका और कनाडा जैसे देशों में 10 लाख लोगों पे कम से कम हजारों जज है, वही भारत के 10 लाख लोगों पे केवल 10 जज। तो कहां से होंगे केसेस सॉल्व? और सबसे ज्यादा केस इस महाराष्ट्र और उत्तर प्रदेश जैसे प्रदेशों में है जहाँ पे केसेस सॉल्व नहीं हो रहे। ये मैं नहीं कह रही, ये आंकड़े कह रहे। जो केसेस अभी तक सॉल्व नहीं हुए या फिर पेंडिंग केसेस हैं, वो अंडर ट्रायल्स के लिए सबसे बड़ी दुविधा है। अंडर ट्रायल्स वो लोग होते हैं जो कि अपने केस की सुनवाई के लिए इंतजार करते हैं। तो आज कुल 10 लाख के आसपास अंडर ट्रायल्स है, जो कि 5 साल से ज्यादा अब समय से अपने केसेस का सॉल्व होने की प्रतीक्षा करते आ रहे हैं। और कितनों की तो जिंदगी ऐसी ही कट जाएगी, क्या पता उन्हें कभी इंसाफ ही ना मिले। कब तक चलेगा देश में ऐसा? क्या आपको लगता है कि ऐसे व्यवस्था के साथ हम न्याय समय पे ले पाएंगे? नहीं। इस प्रणाली को सुधारने के लिए 1924, 1927 एवं 1972 में 3 कमीशन जारी किए गए ताकि ये कार्यकाल सही किया जा सके, परंतु इसका कोई लाभ ना हुआ। उसके बाद भारत हर वर्ष नए रिपोर्ट्स जारी होते हैं जिसमें इन प्रणाली को सुधारने के अलग अलग तरीके आते हैं, परंतु उसका भी कोई लाभ नहीं होता, क्योंकि बार बार ये रिपोर्ट जारी होते हैं, बार बार ये सारे रिपोर्ट्स व्यर्थ हो जाते हैं। तो क्या आपको लगता है ऐसा सही है? इसके बाद भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा, परंतु कुछ लोग हैं जो इसको सुधारने के लिए बहुत कुछ करते हैं। सबसे पहले हमें जागरूकता बढ़ानी होगी कि कैसे हम अपने न्याय प्रणाली के समय काले को कम करें। उसके उपरांत हमें स्कूल में, कॉलेजेस में ये शिक्षा देनी होगी कि न्याय की जरूरत क्या है और सही समय पे हम न्याय कैसे दें। और सबसे बड़ी बात, हमें सबको समझाना होगा कि केवल डॉक्टर इंजीनियर बनने से देश नहीं चलता, हमें अच्छे लॉयर्स और जजेस भी चाहिए ताकि देश में हर व्यक्ति को सामान्य रूप से कानून में उनका लाभ हो। हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल पार्ट 4 DSPS के तहत आर्टिकल 39A में कहा गया है कि भारत के हर नागरिक को सामान्य रूप से न्याय मिलना आवश्यक है। तो जब ये हमारे संविधान में कहा गया है तो हम इस पे अमल क्यों नहीं करते? सोचिए, क्या हमारे देश में ऐसी प्रगति हो सकेगी जहां हमें कानून की सही से इंसाफ नहीं दे रहा? धन्यवाद।
Time taken by participant 7 minutes and 13 seconds. Participant number 4. Greetings to all. I am participant number 4. I am going to speak on topic. I am the wingless master of my own cage. Considering a normal unit of society, an individual, and checking his or her behavior, we see specific patterns. Patterns in one's lifestyle, in one's interaction with society, thinking, mindset, and reaction to the political events and to the simplest of expression of anger. For me, these are not differences or these are not patterns, but they are the indirect governing factors affecting and diminishing our open mind in the lens of the sky. Now, what are these diminishing factors? These diminishing factors are nothing but the necessities of civilization itself, necessities of smooth functioning of the state, necessities of working of complex societies. These are nothing but the necessities of law and order, rules and regulations, religion, stratification, differentiation, norms, obligation, etc. Today, I am going to discuss one of the major institutions of law and social foundations together, and we'll try to answer how these establishments diminish our open-mindedness, lacerate our wings and cage us through the societal expectations. Now, how does the protector of our open flight and our freedom, the law, limits our emancipation, liberty, freedom? We are going to discuss in some examples. The idea is the essence of universe, said by the philosopher King Pluto himself. He says that it's the only idea which takes us from the cage we live, from the cave we live in. He says that the cave, we live in the cave, and we see the reflections of the society outside. We see the illusions of the society outside, and it is the idea which will change this, which will change the society and bring us out of the cave into the real world outside. As discussed earlier, these diminutions lead to laceration of our wings, laceration of our open flight. The ability to think further is reduced. This creates hindrance to the creativity. And therefore, every student learning polity and society thinks that and try to answer the question. The question arises is, does law curb creativity? Law must undertake each and every sector of the society. It should protect their ideologies and beliefs and seek their interest of the people. Therefore, the actions taken by the state are important. The best example of this situation is the Censor Board of India. Today, every new film has to pass the censor board to get published and released. And this is the problem. But they say, when there is problem, there is opportunity. And this opportunity is fulfilled. The creative idea takes place. The birth of creative product takes place. But this creative product must pass the test of law, as it is the rule. After passing the test of law, it must pass the social obligations as well. For example, the new bill is passed that after the reviewing of the Censor Board of India, the movie should go to the central government. And if central government thinks that the movie needs any further uh, reviewing, then they may send back movie to censor board. This is nothing but the biggest hurdle, I feel, between the society, between the citizens and the creativity. This is hampering the new ideas that bring the change in the society. And this little bit hampers the lifestyle of people as well. For example, teachers should not wear specific kinds of clothes, or getting fired, or having their account on social media. This somewhere hampers the liberty of this people. Now, how does this liberty gets hampered? Well, in India, the core of Indian constitution is socialism and the most important concept of justice. Unlike United States of America, the USA has liberty as a core concept of the state, and we have the justice. Therefore, it is said that when law comes in, liberty walks out. After expressing his views on state and general will, James R. Caruso expressed his and emphasized on the general public, the ideas and the uh, interest of general public. Man is born free, but everywhere he is in chains. He quoted this line to the reference of the modern concept of freedom, the pseudo concept of freedom gave by the state. He expresses his rational feeling that the modern concept of this freedom, the pseudo freedom, is nothing but an illusion in which we are trapped in. And this is spread across and across the lands, across the surface of the earth. And we need to change it. As we all know, society and law are harmonious in nature. If society gets complex, law must go deeper and deeper. At this point of time, our society is so complex that law is penetrating deep into our acts into our own houses, acts into your own bedrooms. Therefore, man is born free, but everywhere he's in chains. India is a republic country. Yesterday, we celebrated our 74th Republic Day, the day empowering our citizens. When I say law protects, I mean it gives importance to each and every citizen present. I am the wingless master of my own cage. I am wingless. These establishments cut my wings, and the societal expectations cage me. But I am the master of that my cage. This cage is mine, and I am the lord of my cage. This is given by the state. Because this new concept of state, this modern concept of state, the mighty concept of democracy gives each and every individual their own liberty. This thought of individualism is present, is penetrated throughout the concept of modern state, the states in which democracy has been given. Therefore, I want to tell to all my fellow citizens that even though I am wingless, I am the master. I am the whole and soul of this cage. I give Aadhaar to myself. I give Aadhaar to the state. I give Aadhaar to this society, and I am the Aadhaar of this law. At the end, I want to quote one line to all my fellow citizens. Never think like a wingless bird. We are the masters, and master always rules the skies. Thank you so much. Time taken by the participants, 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Participant number 5.
Good morning, everyone. I'm participant number 5, here to share my thoughts on the topic G20 Presidency of India. Another step closer to the idea, the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It is indeed a privilege to be standing here in this intellectually stimulating environment with you all. So, I would like to begin by saying that these are very unprecedented. These are very unprecedented and extraordinary times that we are living through. We are witnessing the after effects of global pandemic, once in a century global pandemic that we have witnessed. Apart from that, we are also seeing the heightened sense of global insecurity due to the geopolitical conflicts, confrontations, and contestations witnessed in the recent conflicts going on between Russia and Ukraine. There is also a looming threat over the Indo-Pacific, Asia-Pacific, as well as transatlantic. These are the challenges that global humanity faces today. Apart from that, we also face the threat, the looming threat of economic slowdown as an after effect of global pandemic. India today stands in a very unique position in these difficult times to lead one of the most significant global organizations. I won't even call it global organization, as it is an informal grouping of 20 largest economies of the world, but it assumes significance because it represents 85% of the global GDP. Yes, it represents these 20 countries represent 85% of the global GDP, 75% of world trade, and 66% of global humanity. Therefore, it is indeed a prestigious privilege for India to take the lead of this organization, of this informal grouping. India, I say, is in a very unique position. India is a developing country, is the fastest emerging as well as a growing economy. Today, we represent 1/6 of global humanity. Economically, we are emerging, we are developing, though we represent fifth largest economy in nominal terms and third largest in the PPP terms. Militarily, we have grown significantly. Today we are the fourth largest military in the world, as well as a respectable, peaceful, and a responsible nuclear power, having completed our nuclear triad as well. India today brings together two different concepts of ancient civilization, the principles, the values of ancient civilization, as well as the modernity, the technologies that we are coming with. So this is an interesting conception where India has this opportunity to lead the G20 presidency. In order to understand the effectiveness of India's presidency or India's ability to alter the global order, we need to undertake a very brief SWOT analysis of India's position. SWOT is nothing but strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. In terms of India's strengths, I think it can be very easily denoted in the acronym of 3Ds: demand, demography, and democracy. In terms of demand, India, the country with 1.4 billion population, is a huge market. India today is serving as an economic engine for the global growth. In terms of democracy, we are the largest democracy in the world. We are also considered as the mother of democracy. In terms of demography, we have the youngest demography in the world. When the entire world population is aging and countries are facing recession, India holds a significant proportion of young population. The demographic dividends is also something on the anvil. So these are all the benefits that India bring with it. Uh, these are the indeed strengths of India. Ancient civilization, definitely. We have a lot to offer to the world. We have yoga, we have Ayurveda. Apart from that, we also have technologies which we have developed in order to bring our poor out of the poverty. For example, we have Aadhaar, we have Jam Trinity. All these experiences can be shared with the developing countries through this platform. So these are the strengths. When we talk about weaknesses, I think India has several social evils which are not yet been able to curate or eliminate. These include regionalism, communalism, casteism, parochialism. These are still the chains that bind us and prevent our growth. So these need to be countered. Apart from that, opportunities, in terms of opportunities, there is a significant shift in balance of power from transatlantic to Indo-Pacific, which provides India as a leader, as a power in Indo-Pacific to play a crucial role in reshaping the global order. And that is indeed a very significant opportunity. Apart from that, we are also working on something called domestically, something called the Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India to transform our economy. So when we talk about the leadership, it should be both domestic as well as international. The transformation should be within and outside. These are the opportunities and, of course, threats. I think the biggest threat that we face is the environmental sustainability. In our quest for development, we have somewhere forgotten or, let's say, left our concern for the environment behind. So that is a very significant challenge, which was recently reflected in the Joshima tragedy, which was witnessed. So these are some of the threats. So now, what is the way forward for India going ahead? I think it can be divided into two different categories: what we can do domestically and what we can do internationally. Domestically, I believe that the constitutional morality has to be a guiding light going ahead for us. What does constitutional morality means? It means a very strict adherence to the principles of the Constitution. I think the principles of the Constitution are well reflected in the preamble of the Constitution, which I would like to quote here. It says that we, the people of India, meaning that the sovereignty is derived from the people of India and the centrality, therefore. So we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all citizens justice, social, economic, and political, equality of status and of opportunity, liberty of thought, belief, faith, and expression, fraternity, assumed dignity of the individuals, and unity and integrity of the nation. So these are all the principles that can help India in going forward in society, polity, economy. Everything needs to be conformed to this idea of constitutional morality. Finally, I would like to say that externally, it is the Panchashil or the five principles of peaceful coexistence given by our former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, which should be conformed to in order to build better connections with the global order. And finally, I think the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is oneness, the intrinsic oneness of the global humanity, it is reflected in our sage Saint Yajnavalkya's writings in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where he says that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. So these are the values, these are the traditions and customs of India. We need to be adhered to going forward. Thank you, everybody.
Time taken by the participant 6 minutes and 59 seconds.
So, good morning, everyone, respected judges, and my dear friends present here. So, at the senior category contestant number 8, and I would be talking on the topic India's G20 presidency, a step forward to the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So, what is G20? A short introduction, I won't bore everyone. A short introduction, we, along with the 18 world economy leading countries, along with European Union, we form a G20 group, economic improving the global economy and for the welfare of the citizens. Let's come to the point. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It is extracted from the. It has been extracted from the Maha Upanishad, as well as I have read in one of the holy textbooks, holy text of Jnaneshwari, which said, "He Vishweji Maze Ghar," which means the world is my family. With this opportunity of G20's presidency, India's culture, traditions, Sanskriti will be now spotlighted on the world stage. India's belief, India's belief in brotherhood and oneness can not only be judged by some other categories, but also we can take the pandemic example where we supplied various vaccines to over 100 nations, and thus upholding the very true verb, the very true verse of Sarve Santu Sukhinah, Sarve Bhavantu Niramayah, and this can be called as a step forward to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. There are various sectors where we have to pay attention and where we can't just keep fighting between the countries. No exploitation should be needed, no conflict, but there should be a proper discussion with the world's powerful and the leading countries on various topics such as energy, renewable energy, food security. We have multilateral reforms, we have education sector, agriculture, and many more. Women-led empowerment is also very much needed. Speaking about the, we can also speak about the brotherhood which we are sharing with other multinational relations. Talking about the G20 presidency, it is a very nice opportunity for India to showcase our culture, our traditions, and our roots, which are deeply engraved in us. Harmonizing various interests of our society is deeply engraved in the India's history and culture. Also, I think everyone in this hall will definitely agree with the point that not all countries which are under the umbrella of G20 are having friendly relations between them, but still they are under one umbrella just because for a noble cause, so that we can make this globe a better place to live, a green, bluer, cleaner place to live. A sustainable growth is required, and for that one noble cause, everyone, be them they are fighting on various issues, but they are under one umbrella for this noble cause. This is also a step towards Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And this is nothing but an example of unity in diversity on a global front, a step towards Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. At the end, I would say, Ayam Nijaha Paroviti Ganana Lagu Chetasam Udacharitanam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you.
Time taken by participant 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My topic for today is inflation, a game of tag between Europe and the world. The complex interaction between trade, capital, and information and technology is leading our world towards a global conversion. The surge in information has enhanced human lives by improving education, health, and also communication, making world truly a global village. Principles like the liberalization, privatization, and globalization are the three main pillars of our new economic model. Globalization has truly integrated the world, though it has its own positive and negative aspects. Globalization of supply chain is now the means of trade and commerce. Now, supply chain is a network of buyers, sellers, intermediaries, and vendors who produce and distribute goods and services. So global supply chain is nothing but uh, goods are produced in a part of a globe and then they are transported to a completely different part of a globe with each component indeed made in different countries. For instance, if we take Apple iPhones are made in different countries, including China, and then they are shipped to different countries like Europe and America for the purpose of selling them. So, talking about the trade, European Union is one of the most outward-oriented economy. It is one of the most biggest single market in the world. It is also the biggest exporter of manufactured goods and services. Uh, it itself is the biggest market export market for 80 for around 80 countries, and due to Europe's huge amount of share in the global market, it is inflation in Europe also kind of influences global inflation. Uh, Milton Friedman has rightly said it that global inflation is taxation without legislation because people are subjected to pay the tax even and have no legislative say in it. So inflation is nothing but a price rise, and inflation in developed countries also lead to inflation in other countries, developing and underdeveloped countries. For instance, if we take carbon tax, which is carbon border tax, which is proposed by European Union. So the European Union proposed the tax because they believe that it will help them reduce carbon emission and at the same time boost their own industries. But it is kind of harmful for the developing countries who export their goods to Europe, even though it will help in reducing the carbon emission, but at the same time, it will inflate price in the long term. Another example for European policies is that Europe's protectionist policy, where it supports its own industry at the expense of other nations. Europe always, by the means of tariffs, subsidies, and import taxes, which they put on other countries. Many mainstream economists have said that for a free trade is very much of importance for the global trade to succeed. But Europe has always favored its own industries at the expense of developing and underdeveloped nations. Uh, PIGS crisis, that is Portuguese, Ireland, Italy, Greece, and Spain crisis, has also induced global inflation because these countries were under the huge debt, and this debt was financed by International Monetary Fund and European Union. So the money came into their economy, and the purchasing power of the people then increased, and leading to inflation. So disrupting the global trade. Uh, Europe's stance in the geopolitical scenario of supporting Ukraine in the Russia-Ukraine war has also induced inflation to a large extent because Ukraine and Russia both are accounts for 1/3 of the wheat export in the global market, and because of the war, there is a huge price rise in most important goods like food and fuel itself. So poor countries has to face a lot of consequences because of it, and Brexit can also be considered as one of the reasons for inflation, global inflation, because Brexit itself caused inflation in European Union, and then it is also according to a survey because of the Brexit, there was 13 international trade has reduced to 13%, like more 13% less than before. So these are the factors which leads to global inflation. So now to tackle this situation, there are many solutions which can be applied. For instance, decoupling in the important sectors. The Fukushima earthquake, which took place in Japan, due to this, Japan was unable to export its goods and services, electronic goods and services, and the country which was importing the goods had to face the consequences. But so this can be remedy which can be applied to this is that a country should not just depend on one country for its goods and services. It should always have backup options. And Atmanirbharta is also one of the important aspect which should be considered, which COVID has definitely taught us. Atmanirbharta in critical sectors. COVID has definitely taught us that. Diversification of goods and applying proper regulations and implementing them in a proper way can also help us to reduce inflation to a large extent. Lastly, I would say that inflation, high inflation is not good for an economy, but at the same time, low inflation and fall in prices are also not good for the economy. As there are price fall in the economy, uh, people in the economy tend to buy less goods, anticipating that there will be the price will be more less in the future, and so because of this, economic growth gets hampered. Many economists believe that there should be very less yet predictable amount of inflation in an economy, so people can anticipate prices and buy goods and services in the present without and it will also boost the economic growth. It is believed that 2% of inflation is good for an economy, uh, for economic growth. So inflation within a certain limit can act as a boost for economic growth, but at the same time, inflation, if it exceeds the limit, is definitely curse for economic growth. Thank you.
Time taken by the participant 6 minutes and 53 seconds.
नमस्कार। पार्टिसिपेंट क्रमांक 11, विषय G20 की भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता। 30 बरस का ज्योतिपुंज था, ज्ञान पुष्प का सुर अभिकुंज था। मस्तक पर अरुणिम्बो रेखा चकित रह गया, जिसने देखा शब्द सुदर्शनधारी था, वो देवदूत अवतारी था, वो शख्स स्वामी विवेकानंद। तारीख 11 सितंबर 1893। मकसद विश्व धर्म संसद और जगह पश्चिम का सबसे घनी आबादी वाला शहर शिकागो। यही वो दिन था महोदय, यही वो दिन था जिसमें भारत के एक साधारण से दिखने वाले व्यक्ति ने जाकर पश्चिम के पटल पर विश्व बंधुता का ध्वज गाड़ दिया था। नमस्कार। यहाँ पर उपस्थित मेरे सभी भाइयों एवं बहनों को सादर प्रणाम करता हूँ एवं प्रदान किए गए आज के विषय भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की दिशा में एक कदम, इस पर अपने विचार व्यक्त करने की विनंती चाहता हूँ। तो महोदय, सर्वप्रथम हमारे सबके मस्तिष्क में सवाल यही उठता है कि G20 क्या है। तो G20 भारत का 19 देशों के साथ यूरोपियन यूनियन का एक समूह है। तो इस मंच में मुख्य रूप से आर्थिक सहयोग होता है और ये देश, इनमें जो देश आते हैं वो है फ्रांस, इटली, जर्मनी, भारत, रूस, चीन आदि। और इनका काम मुख्य रूप से आर्थिक स्थिरता, वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था एवं जलवायु परिवर्तन का काम होता है। भारत इस बार भारत इसका नेतृत्व करेगा। इसकी अध्यक्षता भारत के हाथ में। मान्यवर, भारत के लिए औपनिवेशिक काल के बाद में ये अपनी अर्थव्यवस्था के रूप में अपनी उपलब्धियों को बताने का एक बहुत अच्छा जरिया है। भारत ने G20 की अध्यक्षता बहुत सही समय पर ली है। इस समय हम ऐसी कई प्रकार की समस्याओं से गूंज रहे हैं जिसका सामना, जिसका हल केवल और केवल साथ मिलकर एक साथ काम करके ही लाया जा सकता है और एक दूसरे से लड़कर इसका हल नहीं निकाला जा सकता। लोकतंत्र। मान्यवर, जैसा कि मैंने आप सभी से कहा कि भारत ने G20 की अध्यक्षता बिल्कुल सही समय पर ली है और हमें इसकी सख्त जरूरत है। महोदय, तो इसके बाद G20 अध्यक्षता मिलने पर भारत इन 19 देशों के साथ अपने संबंध अच्छे कर सकता है, अपनी कला, अपने ज्ञान, विज्ञान इत्यादि सब कुछ उनके समक्ष रख सकता है, जिससे हमारे उनके साथ संबंध अच्छे होंगे। किंतु ये बात नहीं है कि भारत अपना सारा प्रचार इन 19 देशों के साथ ही कर सकता है, क्योंकि अब भारत के हाथ में अध्यक्षता है, क्योंकि अब भारत के हाथ में शक्तियां हैं। तो भारत देश अब उन देशों को भी न्योता दे सकता है, उन देशों को भी आमंत्रित कर सकता है जो कि मुख्य रूप से, मौलिक रूप से G20 के अंतर्गत नहीं आते। भारत ने यूएई को आमंत्रण दिया, जो कि भविष्य में एक रणनीतिक साझेदार के रूप में हम सभी के सामने आएगा। इसके अलावा भारत देश ने बांग्लादेश, स्पेन, सिंगापुर जैसे कई अन्य देशों को भी आमंत्रित किया है, जिससे कि हमारे संबंध इन देशों के साथ काफी अच्छे और पक्के होंगे। तो इस कारण से आधिकारिक या अनाधिकारिक रूप से हमारे संबंध इन सभी देशों के साथ काफी अच्छे जाने वाले। महोदय, उदयपुर में हुई सबसे पहली बैठक में हमने विश्व के अलग अलग लोगों के समक्ष, जो भी उनके प्रतिनिधि थे, उनके समक्ष अपनी जीवंत संस्कृति के अलावा डिजिटल पेमेंट रिवॉल्यूशन को भी दिखाया। और वहां के प्रतिनिधियों ने खुद यूपीआई से पेमेंट करके देखा और इस बात को पाया कि यूपीआई अपने आप में कितना ज्यादा साधारण, सरल और सटीक है। और मान्यवर, ये यूपीआई के लिए एक क्रांति के रूप में भी साबित हो सकता है, एक रिवॉल्यूशन के रूप में भी साबित हो सकता है, और इसको अंतरराष्ट्रीय बनाने में मददगार साबित हो सकता है। महोदय, इसके पश्चात बात करते हैं तो हम उस भोला भंडारी, उस महादेव के वंशज है। हम लोग हमें सपेरों का देश कहते रहे, हमें तीसरी दुनिया मानते रहे। हमारे लिए दुनिया तीसरी या दूसरी नहीं होती। हमारे लिए कोई धर्म तीसरा या दूसरा नहीं होता। हमारे लिए धर्म सिर्फ एक ही होता है, वो होता है इंसानियत का धर्म। काले गोरे का भेद नहीं, हर दिल से हमारा नाता है। कुछ और नाता हो, हमको हमें प्यार निभाना आता है। जीते हो किसी ने देश को क्या, हमने तो दिलों को जीता है। जहाँ राम अभी तक है नर में, नारी में अभी तक सीता है। इतना आदर, इतना सम्मान, नदियों को भी माँ कह के बुलाते हैं। इतना आदर, इंसान को क्या पत्थर भी पूजे जाते हैं। इस धरती पे मैंने जन्म लिया, ये सोच के मैं इतराता हूँ, भारत का रहने वाला हूँ, भारत की बात सुनाता हूँ। महोदय, ये हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है पूरी दुनिया के समक्ष अपने आप को बताने का, और पूरी दुनिया को ये बता देने का कि हाँ, कोई बाजार नहीं है। हम एक बहुत ताकतवर प्रतिस्पर्धी के रूप में भी दुनिया के समक्ष आ सकते हैं, और अपने आप को हमें पूर्ण रूप से विश्व के समक्ष लाना होगा, ताकि उसके कारण हमारे संबंध उनके साथ काफी अच्छे और पक्के हो, और भविष्य में हमें उनकी जरूरत पड़ने पर हम भी उनके काम आए, और सबके साथ सबका विकास हो। धन्यवाद।
Time taken by participant 5 minutes and 34 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. I'm participant number 12, speaking on the topic Artificial Intelligence Boom. Everyone's boom? We'll see about that. Swedish philosopher was said, machine intelligence is the last invention that humans could ever make. We all have a vague idea of what artificial intelligence means. Commonly abbreviated as AI, it is basically a science branch of computer science which enables machine to mimic human behavior. Now, when I say human behavior, it means these machines are very much capable of cognitive functions like learning, planning, decision making, reasoning, as well as problem solving. The concept of AI isn't as recent as we think. Though we might have incorporated it in the last few years, the concept itself started way back in 1950s. To understand whether it is actually a boon or not, let's first look at the evolution in the field of AI. 1956 marked the first AI boom, where machines which could solve mathematical problems, quizzes, prove theorems were introduced. But then, that was all they could do, and soon the trend died out. Then came the second evolution around 1980s. Here, the machines were claimed to be able to learn. I quote, learn. But it was seen that they weren't actually learning, rather just repeating their past patterns. Then again, it too died out. Now, coming back to the present, Today, we have incorporated AI systems in almost all aspects of human existence: education, healthcare, privacy, security, communication. These are some examples where AI is being used. But how do we see such a stark contrast in present systems as compared to the earlier versions of it? This is where the third and the recent AI boom began. Around 2000s, the concept of deep learning was introduced in the field of AI. Deep learning allowed machines and automated systems to actually learn, absorb information, modify it, and utilize it as per the need, just like we humans do. Our lives have been made so much more comfortable and convenient than we could ever imagine. When was the last time you used your Google Assistants or voice search features? It is as easy as saying, "Hey Google, set an appointment," or "Hey Alexa, how's the weather today?" Even such simple and mundane tasks require almost no efforts to do. This evolution has led to a great array of applications and convenience for humans. Talking about the benefits, that is, the boons or the gift that AI poses itself as, first would be reduced risk of errors. Since machines are prone to fatigue and distractions, there is almost a zero and minimal risk of errors. Next would be the simplification of tasks. In case of factory setups, where tasks which are difficult or too dangerous for human workers to execute, industrial robots or machines can be replaced there to carry out those tasks. Apart from that, today's era is era of e-commerce. 24/7 assistance, digital assistance, and availability is another feature which has marked the boom in recent years. These e-commerce websites, applications, and softwares utilize and engage the consumers in a digital interface which eliminates the needs of human person. Also, another factor would be the ability of machines to last longer or work for longer hours than humans. They can be programmed to work for a long stretch of time as compared to humans. Then, coming to the most basic benefit, daily applications. We have all been using AI in different forms, and we might not even be aware of it. Like I said, Google search engines, Google Assistants, Alexa, Microsoft's Cortana, Google Lens, facial recognition, voice to text features, image to text features, QR scans. These are some examples where AI is being used on a daily level. Now, all these features and benefits really make it seem like AI is indeed a gift for us. But I'd like to ask a question here. Is there really nothing else to AI besides all these? Are AI really rid of all the shortcomings? Well, with the increasing dependency and demand for AI systems and automated systems, AIs are said to be able to replace human jobs in the long run. In fact, it is predicted that over 85 million human jobs could be replaced by automated systems. Now, this poses a risk of potential unemployment, which will further increase the socioeconomic gaps. Apart from this, the privacy concerns are ever rising. Identity theft or social surveillance by means of facial recognition, which could monitor social media or digital interactions, physical activities, political views, or hackers programming algorithms in machines in a way which could be used for cyber crimes. There is also the risk of deepfakes. Deepfakes is when these machines reach a level of intelligence or consciousness where they could pose as actual humans. And it would become really difficult for us to figure out whether we are interacting with actual humans or machines. they could use our information, that is unauthorized data collection. Apart from this, another way with where AI systems can prove disadvantages is their single tracked algorithms. They often intervene in financial matters. The 2010 US market crash is a great example, where the US market prices seem to have dropped rapidly in just an hour. That was because of the AI algorithms that had intervened in those market prices. Now, all these make us reconsider whether AI is indeed a boon to us. Stephen Hawking had said, artificial intelligence is probably the best or the worst thing that could ever happen to humans. Indeed, it is imminent that AI and automation have far reaching implications, but it is not certain what future they hold. The only certainty here would be the need for us to constantly upscale and upgrade ourselves. Thank you.
Time taken by the participants, 8 minutes and 3 seconds.
Good morning, respected judges and my dear students. I am contestant number 13, and my today's topic is India's G20 presidency, a step closer to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So, do you know the meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Okay, so Vasudha means the earth, Aiva means is, and Kutumbakam means family. The earth is family. This mantra comes from 672 in Maha Upanishad, which belongs to Samaveda tradition. The mantra reads, Ayan Nijaha Paroveti Gananala Kuchetasam Udar Charitanantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Meaning, the distinction between this person is mine and this is not is done by the narrow-minded. For those with noble conduct know that the world is one family. Now, G20, formed in 1999, is a group of 20 of the world's largest economies that meet regularly to coordinate on international economic cooperation and global policies like climate, health, and other issues. The G20 is premier intergovernmental forum for international economic cooperations. The forum plays an important role in shaping and strengthening global architecture and governance on all major international economic issues. The previous summits have addressed COVID-19 pandemic, 2008 financial crisis, the Iranian nuclear program, and the Syrian civil war. In the process and system of G20 presidency, the G20 presidency is determined by the consensus of its members and is based on regional rotation and changes every year. The members of G20 represent around 85% of global GDP, 75% of global trade, and 2/3 of global population. The G20 presidency steers or controls the G20 agenda for 1 year and hosts the summit. The G20 consists of two parallel tracks, the financial track and the Sherpa track. The financial track is led by the finance minister and central bank governors. The Sherpa track is led by the Sherpas. India's G20 presidency begins from December 1, 2022 to November 30th, 2023. The 43 heads of delegations, the largest ever in G20, will be participating in final New Delhi summit this September. The G20 logo draws inspiration from the vibrant colors of Indian national flag: saffron, white, green, and blue. It juxtaposes planet Earth with lotus, the Indian national flower, which reflects growth amid challenges. And the planet Earth reflects India's pro-planet approach to life. Below G20 logo, there is Bharat written in Devanagari script. The theme of G20 is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means one earth, one family, one future. This theme affirms the value of all life, human, plant, animal, and microorganisms, and their interconnectedness on planet Earth and in wider universe. The theme also spotlights life, that is life of environment and its interconnectedness on its planet, and also environmentally sustainable and responsible choices on both levels, individual as well as national development. Life also ties a close relation with G20's motto, with our human-centric approach to technology, tech-enabled development in sectors ranging from agriculture to education, women empowerment and representation, including factors and efforts to keep women to the fore and in leading positions in order to boost socioeconomic development and in achievement of SDGs. For India, this G20 presidency will be the beginning of Amrit Kal, the 25-year period starting from 75th anniversary of its independence on 15th August 2022, leading towards its centenary of its independence, towards futuristic, inclusive, prosperous, and developed society, distinguished by our human-centric approach to life. In the history of India, G20 will be a watershed moment in her history as it seeks to help and in finding pragmatic global solutions for well-being of all. And in doing so, she'll be manifesting the true spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or the world is one. Thank you.
Time taken by the participant 6 minutes and 4 seconds.
नमस्कार. माझा क्रमांक आहे 16 आणि माझा विषय आहे भारताची G20 अध्यक्षता वसुधैव कुटुंबकमच्या दिशेने एक पाऊल. आता सर्वे संतु निरामय या ब्रीद वाक्याखाली ज्या देशाने संपूर्ण जगाला कोविड वॅक्सिन पुरवून एक कोविड महामारीतून वाचवण्याचं काम केलं तो आपला भारत देश. आणि आज भारताची जी G20 अध्यक्षता आहे ती खूप एक महत्वपूर्ण आपण अशी पाहू शकतो. जे आपले पंतप्रधानांनी ज्याप्रमाणे म्हटलंय त्याप्रमाणे G20 ची जी लोगो आणि आपण जे म्हणू शकतो जे ब्रीदवाक्य आणि चिन्ह जे काही दिलेलं आहे ते पण एक पाहण्यासारखं आहे. एक आपण असं म्हणू शकतो की वसुधैव कुटुंबकम आणि एक वसुंधरा, एक कुटुंब आणि एक भविष्य याप्रमाणे ते म्हणू शकतो. आणि जी आपली प्राचीन संस्कृती आहे, जी आपला वारसा आहे आणि जी आपली आस्था आहे ती एक दर्शवते. आज आपण भारत एक जागतिक महासत्ताकडे वाटचाल करत आहे आणि आज आपण 5G च्या दिशेने वाटचाल करत आहोत आणि येणाऱ्या काळात आपण 6G सर्वात आधी लॉन्च करू असं आपल्या पंतप्रधानांनी म्हटलेलं आहे. त्याचप्रमाणे आज भारतात आपण इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात बघू शकतो
की नवीन नवीन पोर्ट्स असतील, एअरपोर्ट्स असतील, त्याचप्रमाणे वॉटरवेज असतील, की जे भारताला एक नवीन इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर देत आहेत. त्याचबरोबर जी भारताची प्राचीन संस्कृती आहे, जसं की योगा असेल, मेडिकल कॉलेजेस असतील, तर ते एक नवीन प्रकारे उभारण्याचं काम आज देखील चालवलं जात आहे. आणि त्याप्रमाणे आपण म्हणू शकतो की जी आज ज्ञानेश्वर माऊलीने 750 वर्षापूर्वी आपल्याला जी एक अवघी विश्वाची माझे घर ही संकल्पना दिली, तीच आज G20 देते आपण असं म्हणू शकतो. आणि त्याचप्रमाणे G20 ची जी एक वैशिष्ट्ये बघायला गेली तर G20 हे जगातील जवळपास 60% लोकसंख्या ही G20 देशात आहे. आणि त्यानंतर जी जगाच्या एकूण जीडीपीच्या 85% जीडीपी हा G20 देशातून येतो. आणि त्यानंतर आपण बघायला गेले तर एकूण जगाचा जो व्यापार आहे तो आपण 75% व्यापार हा G20 देशातून येतो. आणि आज G20 अध्यक्षपद करण्याचं जे आपण म्हणू शकतो संधी ती आपले पंतप्रधानांना मिळाली, भारताला मिळाली. ते आपल्यासाठी एक खूप मोठी गोष्ट आहे. आणि आपण येणाऱ्या काळात एक जागतिक महासत्ता किंवा एक विश्वगुरु म्हणून जर आपल्याला यायचे असेल तर आपली प्राचीन संस्कृती, त्याचबरोबर जे नवीन नवीन इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर, टेक्नॉलॉजी आणि नवीन नवीन जे इम्प्लिमेंटेशन असतील ते करून आपण एक जागतिक महासत्ताकडे वाटचाल करू शकतो.
Time taken by the participant 3 minutes and 22 seconds.
प्रथमतः व्यासपीठ आणि परीक्षकांना नमस्कार. मी स्पर्धक क्रमांक 17 विषय मांडतीये कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता प्रत्येकासाठी वरदान. खरंच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता प्रत्येकासाठी वरदान आहे का? कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता म्हणजेच आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स, मानवीय बुद्धिमत्ता आणि तंत्रज्ञानाचा एकत्रित झालेला विकास. माणसाच्या अचाट आणि भन्नाट कल्पनाशक्तीचे आणि सातत्यपूर्ण प्रयोगशीलतेचे यश. आपणा सर्वांना माहितीच आहे की विज्ञान आणि तंत्रज्ञानामध्ये आपण गगनचुंबी प्रगती केलेली आहे. यात आपले हात अगदी ढगाला बिलगले आहेत. आजचे युग अर्थातच विज्ञान आणि तंत्रज्ञानाचे आहे. यांत्रिकीकरणाचे महत्व बदलत्या काळानुसार वाढत चालले आहे. पण याच आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्सीने आणि वाढत्या यांत्रिकीकरणाने आपल्या समोर अनेक असे प्रश्न उभे केलेले आहेत. जसे की कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता मानवासाठी खरंच त्यांचा विकास करण्यामध्ये उपयुक्त ठरेल का? कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेमुळे मानवी नोकऱ्या संपुष्टात येतील का? किंवा ते मानवी विनाशाचे कारण बनून आपल्याच समोर उभे राहील? असं पण म्हणतात ना, बुराई में बहुत सारी अच्छाईया छुपी होती है जणू, तसंच अगदी काहीच इथे देखील आहे. याच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेमध्ये खूप सारे त्याचे उपयोग देखील आहेत आणि दुरुपयोग देखील. पण आपण सुरुवात नेहमी ही चांगल्यापासूनच करतो ना. आजही सुरुवात आपण कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेच्या उपयोगांवर दृष्टिक्षेप टाकून करणार आहोत आणि मग कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेच्या दुरुपयोगांकडे वळणार आहोत. खरं तर कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता ही माणसांसाठी वरदान ठरते बरं का. कारण याच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेने माणसाला चंद्रावर आणि मंगळावर पोहोचवलेले आहे. जसे की ऍपल कंपनी तर सगळ्यांना माहितीच आहे. एकही माणूस शोधून सापडणार नाही बरं का की ज्याला ऍपल कंपनीचे आयफोन्स माहिती नाहीत. आणि ह्याच आयफोन मध्ये असलेली स्वयंचलित प्रणाली म्हणजेच सिरी, अहो तीच आपली सिरी बाई. ती वैयक्तिक सहाय्यक म्हणून काम करते. गुगलने विकसित केलेल्या ड्रायव्हरलेस कार्स, मार्केटिंग चॅटबोट्स, वैद्यकीय उपचार आणि शस्त्रक्रिया करणारे रोबोट्स, वैद्यकीय उपचार आणि शस्त्रक्रिया करणारे रोबोट्स आणि गुगलची अलेक्सा, ही सगळे याच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेची तर उदाहरणे आहेत. याच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेने शेतकरी बांधवांना देखील मदत करण्यामध्ये मागे पुढे बघितलेले नाही. तिथेही या कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेने कसर सोडलेली नाहीये बरं का. जसे की आपल्याला माहिती आहे, आपला भारत हा निसर्गाने नटलेला आणि समृद्ध देश आहे. भारतामध्ये कृषीप्रधान संस्कृती आहे. याच कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेमुळे शेतकऱ्यांना शेती हा व्यवसाय सहज आणि सुलभरित्या करण्याची मदत होते. कमीत कमी शेतीमध्ये जास्तीत जास्त पीक घेणे, AI चलित यंत्रणेद्वारे पिकांचे आरोग्य निर्धारित करणे आणि मातीच्या चाचण्या करून त्या मातीसाठी खतांच्या शिफारसी देणे, हे कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेचे उपयोग. बापरे, किती हे उपयोग ना, पण दुरुपयोग पण आहेत ना त्याचे. मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग आणि इतर क्षेत्रातील वाढत्या यांत्रिकीकरणामुळे 2050 पर्यंत 50% नोकऱ्या संपुष्टात येण्याच्या बातम्या आपल्या कानावर येत आहेत. यापूर्वी गांधीजींनीही असे म्हटले होते, याचे भाकीत केले होते की वाढते यांत्रिकीकरण मानवी नोकऱ्या संपुष्टात आणू शकतात. अलीकडेच जागतिक बँक आणि आंतरराष्ट्रीय नाणेनिधीच्या संयुक्त अहवालात देखील असे म्हटले आहे की देशांना कौशल्य कार्यक्रमात वेळेनुसारच पुढे जावे लागेल, अन्यथा लाखो लोक गरिबी, बेरोजगारी आणि उपासमारीचे बळी होऊ शकतात. व्हॉट्सअपचा, इंस्टाग्राम, फेसबुक हे माहिती नाही असा एकही व्यक्ती नसेलच, अगदी नसणारच. कारण तसेच सोशल मीडियावर आपल्या वैयक्तिक माहिती उपलब्ध असतात. इंटरनेटवर मोठमोठ्या संस्थांच्या, कारखान्यांच्या, कंपन्यांच्या माहिती देखील उपलब्ध असतात. या वैयक्तिक माहितीशी छेडछाड केल्याच्या हजारो बातम्या रोज आपल्या कानावर येतात. अणुतंत्रज्ञानाचा आणि सायबर हल्ल्यांचा वापर कोणत्याही देशाविरुद्ध केला जाऊ शकतो, ज्याने संपूर्ण मानवजात नष्ट होण्याची भीती आहे. कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेद्वारे विकसित होणाऱ्या भविष्यातल्या गोष्टी ह्या भाकीत करण्याच्याही पलीकडेच ठरतील. ऊर फुटोस्तोवर सतत धावणाऱ्या या मानवजातीला थांबवणे केवळ अशक्य आहे. शेवटी मी स्वतः लिहिलेल्या 2 ओळी म्हणू इच्छिते. सांगड घालून कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्ता आणि मानवी बुद्धिमत्तेची स्वप्न बघितली आहेत माणसाने काल्पनिक भविष्याची. होऊ नये माणूस यंत्रमानवाचाच गुलाम हीच तर आव्हाने आहेत ना आम्हा तरुणाईची. यासाठीच गरज आहे मानवीय बुद्धिमत्तेवर लक्ष केंद्रित करण्याची आणि हीच संधी आहे मानवी बुद्धिमत्ता सिद्ध करण्याची. कृत्रिम बुद्धिमत्तेच्या दुनियेत माणूस आपले स्थान टिकवेल की भान हरवून जाईल हे येणारा काळच सांगू शकेल. धन्यवाद.
Time taken by participant 5 minutes and 51 seconds.
Everyone, good morning. This is number 20, and today my topic is India's G20 presidency, a step towards Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So, what is G20? First of all, I would like to talk a great speech, a great space given by Swami Vivekananda himself. Differences is in degrees, but kindness is in togetherness. What does this mean? India is marked for togetherness and its kindness. I would like to say, सारे इतिहास से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, as this is a new meeting conducted by the G20. Now, what can we see about the G20? It is a summit formed on 26 September 1999 for addressing the social economic changes and the crisis formed in this world. We can see that discussed topics here are economic changes, crisis, various forms of economic and financial problems faced throughout the world. And on 2009 summit, it declared itself the one and only who talks about the economic crisis going on in the whole world. So then, why? Why is the G20 so important? How it will help in this world which is fractured by world crisis, wars, waging on each other, on all the crises that are faced by each other, on basis of caste, creed, discrimination, color, gender, and what are the problems faced during this. India G20 summit marks with the excellence of Ambedkar. It forms because of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is one earth, one land, one family. It talks about how we should all be together. It marks with how every single plant, every single animal in this country, in this world, will help for socio-economic change, for its interdependence. We can talk about it in two aspects, that is its climate, its geographical position, and the other is its sociological form and its culture. Now we see the Indo-Pacific region is rich because of its regional variety. India, being the seventh largest nation, is formed from the top, that is the Himalayas, tapering towards the Indian Oceans, from Bay of Bengal in the west to Arabian Oceans in the west. Now we can see the Indo-Pacific region is very rich in its variety of plants and animals. As we can see, the variety of plants and animals that are found in this country. We can see that there is interdependence in this culture itself. We can see there are various festivals who celebrate the birth of some animals, to some death of some plants. Every big tree does not produce a big seed. It produces small seeds because the birds in this nature will carry it towards somewhere else and form for the new plants and new saplings. This will help them to give food, which will help for their betterment and their nutrition, which will form for the new youngs and the new children. This is a continuous cycle going on. If we see in this culture, India is well cultured and a traditional nation. There are more than 3,000 years ago where caste system was followed. There was a system where it determined a person should follow which occupation he is going to carry on in his family. There was social hierarchy in people which determined which work he should continue to the person he should marry. There were caste and gender differences, but after the rules which we have seen, we have come from Hindu rules to Muslim rules to British governments, and now how we fought together against it, and we have formed this independent nation. I would like to end this with one of the philosophies of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that has come from the Mahaupanishads to the UNGA's conference halls, which marks with the philosophy that togetherness is the next success. It will help for social economic change in the world that is needed, which is fractured by wars and discriminations. I would like to end this with the literal meaning of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is, this is mine, that is his, is said by the narrow-minded person. But the wise believes this is whole my one family. Thank you.
So this is participant number 19. And time taken by him is 4 minutes and 51 seconds.
Greetings to one and all. My name is Shubhankar Kale, and you are listening to the top 50 songs curated by our own AI. Yes, now the time has come that our own song picks have been chosen by AI, not by us. The definition of artificial intelligence is that artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence processes by machines, especially computer systems. As we can see today, mostly 90% of you, along with me, have made a speech through AI in some sort of way. And we are talking about AI right now in a speech made by an AI actually. Ironically, we are basically living in the world of AI and we are its subjects. Don't you think? Yes, I think so. But the stigma around AI is that it's mostly a bane and not a boon, can be said and can be discouraged and can be proved by a lot of things that AI is a boon for us. Also, we can see today that due to AI, our life has become so much easier. From booking an Uber to Googling something to also scrolling through our Instagram, Snapchats, all other social media apps which we think so. All of it is held by AI because AI wants to access us, wants to know more about us, only to make our life more and more easier. We can also see that the development of AI has been hugely developed and has been hugely accelerated, partly due to COVID, because no one expected COVID to come. And AI now has become a very integral part of our life. For example, we can see in day-to-day life today that AI can today scan our emails and tell us which email is wrong, which email is should be thrown in the bin, and which email should be given the importance, which helps you. Another thing which AI also does is also scans our calls. For example, Truecaller. That has also helped millions of people to getting scammed. And I also think it has helped lots of old people from getting scammed because they are getting scammed every day and they don't know if it's a bank calling or it's just someone calling from a scam center. Also, one thing which we take it granted from AI is that what it does for us. For example, if you want to see something or see someone, for particularly a celebrity or something, you just go to that page or website, you just like it, and the next time you don't even have to search it or even go for it. It will automatically come in your Google feed or even in your social media feed. Have you even thought about that? How much AI has made us kind of lazy also, but also made our life so much easy in a way which we cannot even comprehend. Sometimes we even also forget that AI today is not only for us, but also for companies who make it. It is also an advertisement product. For example, if we go to a particular Instagram page, we like something. If it's a shoe, we will like it. And then the AI will send that particularly to a shoe company who will advertise it for us. Oh my gosh, there's a shoe, I needed it. So I will buy it. So much convenience that I don't even have to go to the store. I don't even have to think. If I want to go get it, I can buy it in a couple of seconds just with the help of AI. That has how much AI has done in our life. And I think so, all of the people surrounding here who are of my generation will accept it that we cannot live without AI. For example, we definitely cannot live without Google Maps. Why Google Maps? Well, for first reason, if we are going to a new destination and if we are fully new there, we are going to ask 4, 5, 6 people and they will give their own opinion thinking that it is an interview and not a question. Yes? And also, some of them will also say that this location does not exist. This has happened to me. I wanted to go first to an important function, and they said to me that this function did not exist at all. Firstly, I had bought the ticket, so it did exist, and I did went to it. But what my point is, Google Maps has reduced our time and has saved our money so much that we are just thinking of it as, it is so much easy. Because can you just remember 10 years back, we had to search for signboards every 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers to see that is this location coming or not? Is this location? But yeah. So Google Maps, just like AI, is very important and very crucial in our life. One thing which is also important in our life is also that AI also customizes our feeds. So for example, today, if I tell my Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa, whatever you want to name it, that, I want to wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m. Please put an event in the calendar. Please set up a meeting with someone else. I don't even have to go to the contact list. I don't even have to tell it. I just need an internet connection to talk with any one of you and your number basically, obviously. But that's how much lazy also AI has made me. And also in my way, it has made my life so much better. That's what I can say. Another thing which I can say for AI is that when we think about AI, uh, we mostly think of other things, but AI has so much improved in the last couple of years that it can be seen everywhere, in your phones, in your TVs, in your laptops, in your cars, basically everywhere which has internet, and basically everything which is related to computer programming. Now, one thing everyone must be thinking of AI is that, what is our government thinking? What is India going to do about AI? Are we going to stop it? Well, no, actually, AI basically is there have been the first AI research center was developed in Mumbai in 2018, and also there is a specific premier laboratory developed by DRDO, which is Central Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, which also tells us that our future is in very safe hands. Yes. And also what I can say that yes, just like every side has two sides, every coin has two sides, AI also has two sides. Yeah, from authoritarian regimes using it for their own exposure, for monitoring citizens and also killing someone when they want to. Two, also companies using our data as own product and then selling it to data companies. We are basically a product to these companies. And also while I'm speaking to you right now, all of our phones are recording us and all of our phones know what is going on with our life. So even if you have an iPhone or any phone, you're basically not safe. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And yeah.
Time taken by the participant 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Participant number 7.
First of all, sorry judges for getting late. So my name is Shubham Pandey. I don't have to tell name. Okay. So my name is not. Okay. So I'm seventh participant. Okay. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, Shastrakal, and very, I guess, good afternoon to all in one. मेरा जो टॉपिक है वो है I am the wingless master of my own cage. How many of you agree with this that you all are master? I am master of science. Okay. How many of you agree with this? Even we are not master of science, everyone agrees with this कि हम सब master हैं. ओके और ये जो होता है चीज मास्टर बन जाना कि नहीं हम मास्टर हैं तो आजू बाजू दिखता नहीं है और फिर आप विंगलेस जो हो जाते हैं ना अपने आप हो जाते हैं. बेसिकली गॉड जब हमें बर्थ देते हैं इस दुनिया में तो ही गिव्स अस विंग, बहुत अच्छे विंग्स देते हैं और मॉम डैड बोलते हैं हमारा परी या परा जो भी है वो उड़ेगा इस दुनिया में. ओके एंड सडनली व्हाट हैपेंस माय डियर दैट व्हेन वी ग्रो अप हमें एक कॉम्प्लेक्स आ जाता है कि हम मास्टर बन गए और हम अपने विंग्स को अपने आप कट करने लगते हैं. एंड देन वी बिकम अ विंगलेस मास्टर. बट after that, what is that cage? That cage is nothing but our mind. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, if you have read, Arjuna sitting, in front of Krishna, he is telling, my mind is so chanchal कि इधर उधर भागते रहता है, रुको कैसे? तो कृष्णा बोलते हैं, अरे indeed बच्चा, mind तो चंचल है ही, but इधर उधर भागेगा, you have to stop it anyhow.
This mind has become a cage for everyone. इस माइंड में अभी क्या है, सबसे बड़ा जो केज है वो है ईगो, दूसरा जो केज है वो है डिजायर, जो थर्ड केज है वो है लस्ट, और जो फोर्थ केज है वो है एंगर. ईगो मीन्स एजिंग गॉड आउट. जिस दिन आपने ये कर दिया उस दिन आपने अपने लिए केज बना दिया. एंड by this you become a wingless because no one is here to support you. You are not an aeroplane which aerodynamics will work on you. God has not given you a streamlined shape. Streamlined shape दिया ही नहीं है भगवान ने आपको, धरती पे रहने के लिए दिया है. बट we start flying in the sky. हम ऊपर चला जाना चाहते हैं, स्काई को टच करना चाहते हैं. Someone has told very from my side it is a very what I can say illogical statement, जो कहता है कि ह्यूमन जो है वो लिमिटलेस है, उसकी बाउंड्री लिमिटलेस है, वो कुछ भी कर सकता है वगैरह वगैरह. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ह्यूमंस का एक लिमिट है फॉर श्योर. हम कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते, हमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ अच्छी चीजें करनी चाहिए. ये कुछ भी के चक्कर में आज हमने पूरा खराब कर दिया माहौल इन दिस होल वर्ल्ड. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू डू इज, आपको हमें लिमिटलेस होना होगा, या फिर लिमिटलेस होना है अच्छी चीजों के लिए, लिमिटेड होना है बुरी चीजों के लिए. सो नाउ दिस केज, हाउ टू ब्रेक दिस केज. इस केज को ब्रेक करने के लिए यू हैव टू डू प्रैक्टिस. ओके, एंड व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज बेसिकली यू हैव टू रियलाइज कि आप सब मनुष्य हैं, इंसान है. आजकल मनुष्य अगर कोई बोल देना गाली लगती है फॉर श्योर. One day I was there in school and someone was telling Manusha. I was like, Manusha? मुझे मनुष्य बोला? Because what we are doing कि हम अपने आप को इंसान नहीं मान रहे, हम अपने आप को मास्टर समझ के गॉड मान रहे. And we are thinking, we can fly from our cage. We cannot fly. हम अपने केज से कभी fly नहीं कर सकते because we do not have wings for sure. God has not given us wings. हमें God ने कहीं से भी wings नहीं दिए हैं कि we can fly from our cage. But we can for sure अपने केज को break कर सकते हैं. How we can do is we can remove our ego very simply and we can practice. Okay, now the next thing is I want to focus basically on two things. What is that cage is religion. हम लोग अपने अपनी चीजों में केज बना के बैठे हुए हैं. अभी आप देखेंगे कोई चीज हमें एक्सप्लोर करनी है, कोई छोटी सी चीज एक्सप्लोर करनी है, बट कोई चीज हमें ऐसे बाउंड्री बना के रखते हैं, नहीं आप एक्सप्लोर नहीं कर सकते. आपके मॉम डैड बोलेंगे नहीं वो नहीं करना है, ये नहीं करना है, वो नहीं करना है. देन सबसे बड़ा केस क्या होता है हमारे टाइम में, 10th के बाद. एनीबॉडी नोस, सबने फेस किया होगा. स्ट्रीम, साइंस स्ट्रीम लेना है सबको. ये सबसे बड़ा केज है. आपने केस तोड़ा, आप आ गए आर्ट्स में, कॉमर्स में. उसके बाद जो मॉम डैड की नजर आप पे बनी हुई है, वाह, आपको छोड़ेगी ही नहीं नजर. ओके, बिकॉज वो एक केज है बहुत बड़ा. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ मॉम डैड इन इंडियन सोसाइटी. द बिगेस्ट केज ऑफ दिस विंगलेस मास्टर इज पेरेंट्स ड्रीम फॉर यू. आई वॉन्ट टू बी अ डॉक्टर, मैं नहीं बन पाया, तू बनेगा या तू बनेगी, जो भी. Okay, और नहीं इंजीनियर नहीं बना तो you can be an engineer. So this is the biggest cage that we all are facing in Indian context. How can we break? Right now someone told about artificial intelligence. This type of fields are coming and breaking the cages for us. Basically we are not doing anything, someone else have done. और वो सारी चीजें cages break हो रही है और हम बाहर आ रहे हैं उन सब चीजों से. कोई ना freelancer बन रहा है, कोई video editor and all those things are becoming, and then we are becoming the master, but still we are English. बिकॉज विंगलेस का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है वो है डिजायर. आप डिजायर ले लीजिए, सारा दिन घूमते रहेंगे. अभी कुछ देर पहले आने से पहले ऊपर स्टेज पे मेरे पास एक डिजायर थी कि मैं जाके स्टेज पे बोलूंगा. अरे माय गॉड, हार्ट बीट धक धक कर रहे हैं. होता है, सबको होता है, राइट? इवन यू आर एक्सपर्ट, आपका विंगलेस जो है माइंड वो आपको ये कराएगा. एड्रेनलिन रश होगा फॉर श्योर. और ये सारी चीजें होती है. फिर आप कैसे ब्रेक करते हैं? यू जस्ट कम ऑन द स्टेज, स्टार्ट डूइंग. सारी चीजें चली जाती है. हाश हो गया, बहुत बड़ा है ना. ऐसा लगता है बस महाभारत का युद्ध जीत के आ गए हम लोग, कोई तो किंगडम वगैरह हो गया, राइट? सो दीज आर द थिंग्स. नाउ यू स्टार्ट डिजायरिंग समथिंग. अभी डोनट्स का अगर दिमाग में आ गया ना, स्टार्ट डिजायरिंग. अरे बहुत सारी चीजें, अभी मम्मी से कैसे पैसे मांगू, या फिर कैसे इधर से अर्न करूं, फलाना ढिकाना, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स स्टार्ट, एंड योर माइंड विल बी इनकेज्ड फॉरएवर लाइक डोनट का केज. सो दिस डिजायर इज वेरी 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 हार्ड थिंग. आपके पास एक डिजायर है. आजकल के यूथ में, मैं भी आजकल का यूथ हूँ, बट आजकल के मॉडर्न वाले यूथ जो इंस्टाग्राम और फेसबुक वाले यूथ हैं, उनके पास एक डिजायर है फेम की. और उन सबने क्या कर लिया है, अपने आप को अंडर केज कर लिया. कौन सा केज? इंस्टाग्राम एंड फेसबुक. डू वट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू डू, बस लाइक्स आने चाहिए. सो दीज आर द केजेस दैट हैव बीन मेड बाय अस. अब इन केजेस को ब्रेक करना है. बेसिकली व्हाट वी कैन डू इज coming on this platform, organizing elocution competition, or these things are best thing for our energy to be drained. Okay, so these things we can do. Being a youth, I always say, whenever I go, कि अगर इंडिया में प्रोग्रेस रोकना है तो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज द बेस्ट वे इज नो बॉम्ब ड्रॉपिंग नथिंग. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, आप अपने यंगस्टर्स को इंगेज कर दो फालतू चीजों में. प्रोग्रेस वहीं पे रुक गई. आज इंडिया के पास सबसे ज्यादा यंगस्टर्स है बट प्रोग्रेस उतनी जल्दी नहीं हो रहा है, बेसिकली बिकॉज वी आर इंगेज इन फ्री फायर, PUBG, Instagram, Facebook, and all those things. Okay, so these things are becoming very, very worst thing for us, and this is now the modern cage of this society. We have to break it. At the end, I would like to tell you that if you want to be the again wing wala master, so what you have to do is come to the background. Okay, see what your religion teaches you, see what your parents are teaching, follow the religious books whatever they are giving so that you can be the wingless. Okay, and then you can arise above all odds. Thank you so much.
Time taken by participant number 7 is 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay, so thank you all participants. So I declare day 1 slot 1 is over. So for all participants, there is one note. There is feedback form near registration. So please fill that feedback form.